All right, so in this video, I really want to discuss everything centered around democracy. I really think that democracy is a system that doesn't make too much sense, and I don't even believe it's real. So I kind of just want to break into the points about why I think it's fake and why I really don't understand. I don't think it makes sense. I don't really understand. I don't think it makes for a proper ideology. I don't really believe the average person should make decisions about who our leader is. So I'll be getting all into that, but I want to start off with talking with all about money and how everyone is noticing in our society where we're being super greedy and the society is becoming very soulless, right? And I think democracy has a play in that because for people to be in charge through democracy, they need money. And where do you get money from? Whether you come from a place of money or not, you're probably going to end up taking money from other people. And what do those other people want in return for them giving you money, right? And that's kind of where I'm going to talk into a couple points here about housing, mass immigration, Canada's failing birth rate, just why the country is going completely downhill, right, for everyone as a whole, except the people with money. And I think that's related to democracy. So, housing, number one, landlords. Canadians, the Canadians with money usually have homes, right? Like a lot of their equity is in the housing market. They love when it's overinflated because that allows them to have a lot of money, right? They sell prices high. It pushes out young people from owning homes. And if you were in charge of the nation and you realize this was a problem and you want to ensure that your young people want to strive to be the best they can, to have families, to put some blood, sweat, and tears, man, into the country to make sure that they want to be here and this is the land they want to serve and protect, why don't you fix the housing problem? And it's because of the money thing I'm talking about. I'm going to be relating all of this back to the money. And this is the problem I think we have. We have leaders who are bribed through money. They are unnationalistic. They are basically globalists. All they care about is getting cash, making easy money, economy this, economy that. But does the economy really matter if you have no culture, no soul? Everything is about money? Yeah, the answer is fuck that, right? We don't want that. So I think that's related to our system. And it's a big problem. I have to make the video to talk about it. I just can't stand not discussing this. So housing, big problem, right? Landlords sending money over. Our mass immigration problem. Places like Tim Hortons want to put a Timmy's on every single block. How do you do that? Oh, I don't have enough fucking teenagers, minimum wage people to come do this. Okay, I'm going to give the government money so they can bring over a bunch of third world country people here. And then we're going to pay them to put a Timmy's on every block. So it's just Timmy's making money and then bringing in a bunch of people over here. No skills, right? They're working at a Tim Hortons. That's zero skill. And they're inflating our housing market up. They're making our quality of life worse. Our culture, our community is not like put together, to be honest with you, because these guys don't speak our language when they walk around. They don't follow our customs, our culture, right? And it's like, as a leader, wouldn't you want everyone to be a strong community? Wouldn't you want everyone to be put together so your country is strong and powerful? But they don't care because they're getting paid, right? We need to find a solution here that's going to go into getting us to a point where we have a leader who is not interested in money. Because let's say they just have the power already, right? This is where you can come into discussions about talking about like a king or a dictator. But I kind of just want to center the point around talking about why I don't think this works. And the money is the centermost point of this. If you have a leader who can get bribed with money, you're screwed. And this is the problems we go through, right? I don't think any other solutions are going to be able to fix this because at the end of the day, everyone who's in charge of our government, everyone who's in control, everyone who's going to be elected in the future is going to get controlled by money and lobbied by money. It's like a fantasyland illusion to think that things are going to be different. Are housing prices ever going to be like they used to be? No. That's the point I'm trying to bring up. This is the discussion we're trying to have. I don't think it's ever going to go back to the way it once was. And that's because of our system. That's because democracy and the money control is not going to allow us to do it. And I'm going to give a couple analogies with this too, why I don't really think this makes sense. Democracy makes sense. And it's because, let's say you have 100 people and you have, we'll go 5 people, you have 100 people, you line them up and you're like, do you care about politics? 2 months before or 2 months after an election, how many people are you going to have say yes? You're probably going to have like 5 out of the 100 say yes, if that, right? If they're telling the truth. And it's like, okay, so now we have 95 ignorant people here and they get to pick who's in charge? That doesn't even make sense. You're having someone who knows nothing, doesn't care about anything, pick a leader who's in charge. Are they going to pick the best person who's good for them? No, they're not, right? As we can see today, people are completely controlled by emotion through fact, not through facts. So we're getting bad leaders, we're getting bad choices. The country's just degrading, and no one's gonna save us except ourselves. So, like, what's going on with that? That's kind of what I want to talk about here. Is can the average person actually make the proper decision to pick the right leader for our country? And I don't think the answer is yes to that, because more so the mass population is average people, not high IQ standing people. You have, let's say, one Albert Einstein to like 100 million, even more people who are just average Joes. And it's like the voting power is the same. The average Joe is the same voting power as the Albert Einstein. How does that make sense? How are we going to make the best possible decisions with the people who aren't the smartest? You know, we always want, when you want medical advice, you are not going to your neighbor and you're being like, hey man, I got this problem, what's going on here? You're going to a expert, a doctor, and you're going to be like, here's my problem, help me diagnose this, go through this. But when it comes to picking our leader, we just go to the neighbor and we're like, hey man, what do you think? What do you think should be the leader? And this guy just gives some dumbass take that doesn't even make sense. This is where I come in and I'm talking about, I don't understand the system, right? Because it doesn't even make sense to give the average person a say in something like this. There's no credentials to back it up. They don't have any high intellect. They're not going to help out the country. Who cares what they have to say and be? I don't like the system. It doesn't make any sense to me. And when I'm talking about the money in correlation with this as well, I'm talking about why I think it's fake. It's because, do you actually think the people in charge would ever let your peasant ass come up with a decision about anything? Obviously not. They just like you to think that you have a choice in how you're going to be led. It just blows my mind when you have people who are older, right? Honestly, older than me. I'm 24. If you're older than me and you're still thinking that like, oh, once the conservatives win, once the liberals win, doesn't matter who's in charge, right? That's what I'm trying to say. Once they win, this country's back on track. No, they're all the same. They're all controlled by money, okay? The reasons we're having these problems is because they're all controlled by money and the system won't allow for that to change. So what is the solution? The solution, like I'm trying to reiterate here, is you need a leader, a group of people in charge who don't need money, right? Because they already have the power. When you live in a society completely controlled by money, we're getting fucked. The average person gets destroyed bad, right? We live an insane peasant life. And I just want people to try and think outside the box with this and realize that it's like, hey man, it doesn't matter who you elect. You're going to get the same problem again. You might have some outlier. People thought Trump was like the outlier. They thought Trump was going to come around. Oh, he's different. You know, he's not a politician, blah, 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 blah. You could maybe think that about 2016, but look at 2020 when he needed money. He needed money for the 2024 election. And look how he is now. Doesn't fix housing, doesn't fix illegal immigration problems, doesn't do the mass deportations, doesn't do anything, just does the bidding of the neocons as well, gets into wars. Why are you doing a war when America's got other big problems, right? Oh, it's because money, because he's getting paid from his donors. His donors are telling him what to do. Go to war with Iran, have all these problems. Canada's the same thing, right? Why are we funding money to Ukraine when we have big struggles at home? Because it's literally just money laundering. It's like a connection is getting given cash. It's like 900 million to Ukraine. Is that actually going to Ukraine, or is that going to some guy who the government is in connection with and they're like, hey man, here's your money for the time being? And that goes for all the aid programs, right? I don't want to go too crazy on a diverting from the topic. I just want to emphasize to people that the system itself is not going to allow for us to change. So we really need to start thinking that, is democracy the way to go here, right? And through my points about talking about the struggles that we go through, I think these struggles we have is because of democracy, our system, and how money controls everything. The money is the root of the evil. And in other videos, I'll break down more stuff, but I just wanted to kind of get this point across, right? I just wanted to talk about democracy as a whole and how I really am not liking it anymore, right? Because just money controls us. So hopefully that can give a little bit of discussion, like a little bit of thought in your mind. And yeah, thank you.